My name is Olivia Anderson, and I am 28 years old. 10 years after my parents stood in our kitchen and chose my sister over me, a letter landed in my Chicago mailbox saying I owed $340,000 on a bank guarantee I never signed. The handwriting looked exactly like mine. Here is what none of them knew. They picked the one person in the family trained to read every line they ever wrote. I live in Lincoln Square now, small apartment, quiet mornings, one good cup of coffee before work. I am a forensic accountant. I audit liars for a living. I just never thought I would open a file on my own family. The letter came from First Meridian Community Bank in Marion Falls, Ohio. Notice of default. Demand upon guarantor. It said I had personally guaranteed loans for Anderson Comfort Heating and Air, my father's company. Attached was my signature, close enough to fool anyone who never loved the real one. 10 years ago, in that same Ohio town, my father ran the family business. My sister Madison was the golden child, homecoming queen, boutique dreams, every benefit of the doubt. I was the sturdy one. Good grades, no wall space. Our grandmother Ruth was the only one who ever made me feel like more than an expense. Before she died, she left me a school fund, $38,000 set aside with my mother as custodian. The summer after graduation, I rode to the bank to check the balance for financial aid. $6,000 left. The rest had been drained over a year, in small pulls, signed by my mother. That same spring, my sister's boutique had its grand reopening. New sign, new racks, cake. That night at dinner, I asked my mother where the money went. Madison did not even flinch. She called it family money, said the boutique would put us on the map. I said the word stealing, and the room went cold. My sister stood up and said, "Mom and Dad, you choose, her or me." Nobody laughed. My father told me it was best I got a head start on being independent. I was 18, 3 weeks out of high school, packing 2 trash bags while my mother stood in the doorway narrating what I should leave behind. I built my whole life after that on my own. Night classes, diner shifts, a CPA license, a career in Chicago, and I never once heard from them until that letter. I called the bank the next morning. 3 loans, all from 2021, stacked one on another, the largest one federally backed. Every notice had gone to my parents' address for 5 years. My name carried the debt while I never saw a single letter. Then the officer told me something that stopped me cold. My parents and my sister were co-guarantors too. All 4 names on the same sinking paper, and one of them was a forgery wearing my name. I hired a lawyer. She laid out the road ahead. Police report, identity theft affidavit, a sworn statement naming who had access and motive. I knew exactly what that meant. I would have to name my own mother under oath. While those forms sat on my table, I pulled the records myself, the way I would for any case. Supplier liens, a refinanced house, my sister's boutique reborn 3 times under 3 different names, every collapse patched with borrowed money, and when the borrowing needed a name, they used mine. Then my mother called. 10 years of silence and suddenly, "Sweetheart, family helps family, just a little paper to clear up a misunderstanding." I asked her one question, who signed my name? She never answered it. She just told me to call my sister and hung up. The next day, my own firm brought in a new case, a fraud examination for a defaulted borrower in Ohio, Anderson Comfort Heating and Air. I recused myself on the spot, but I heard enough to understand the truth. This was never a misunderstanding. The bank had already smelled forgery and started building a case. They thought they were negotiating with a small-town loan officer. They had no idea what was coming for them.